New data shows the number of container units that crossed over docks at the Georgia Ports Authority was down in fiscal year 2023. The GPA releasing its financial report this week. Flynn Snyder spoke with GPA officials about what the numbers mean for consumers.
Despite the slowdown, port officials here in Savannah say fiscal year 2023 was still the second busiest year on record. It all comes amid a race to expand capacity aimed at delivering products to consumers. Following a record year in 2022, the Georgia Ports Authority releasing its financial report showing a slowdown in container numbers. The GPA says 5.4 million 20-foot equivalent containers crossed over port docks in fiscal year 2023 that ended June 30th. That's down 6.7% from the year before.
We really look at the last 2 years prior to 2023 as anomalies because they were pandemic driven, a lot of buying out there by the consumers.
GPA President Griff Lynch says despite the slowdown, the Port of Savannah controlled just over 11% of container trade in U.S. ports through April.
And that's a record for the Georgia Ports Authority. 1 out of every 8 containers or so is coming through the ports of all the containers that are handled in the United States.
That's why Lynch says the GPA is spending $1.9 billion for upgrades, including enhancements to a ship space known as a berth in Garden City, which reopened last week.
A new container berth allows more vessels, and in sheer numbers, it grows our capacity by 1.5 million TEUs, or 25% increase.
Lynch says the added capacity in import production, bringing more cargo to the East Coast instead of the West, could spell good news for Southeast shoppers.
And hopefully what it means is the transportation costs will come down, and that will positively impact the overall cost of the product to the consumer.
Ultimately, Lynch projects that fiscal year 2024 will be a challenge due to an inventory surplus, saying the numbers next year will most likely be similar to this year. In Garden City, Flint Snyder, WTOC News.